Alright everyone, the current President of the United States, asterisk I know, President in name only, is Joe Biden. Joe Biden happens to be a Democrat. Federal agencies are currently under the purview of a Democrat. So when the Senate Democrats decide to meet together and they say, no, there's a government power that's going too far, you can take it to the bank that it's going too far. Now, I'm preaching to the choir, and certainly this is preaching to the choir when I read it. Archived link in the description, of course. They've decided that the U.S. terror watch list, the method by which you get on it, the level of transparency, its broadness, etc., as well as the no-fly list are too general, too vague, and that it raises constitutional concerns, specifically Fourth Amendment constitutional concerns. Of course, right now, if your name is too similar to someone who has committed a terrorist act, you may be put on the no-fly list. It means that you cannot get on a plane. Now, you've committed no crime, you're not reasonably suspected of any crime, you're not under investigation for any crime. Try and get your name off the no-fly list and see what happens. Years of litigation and FOIA-ing, etc., etc., etc. And if you prevail after paying probably 5 or 6 figures to do this, then you'll get a brief apology from the government. Oh, sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, we're sorry that you weren't able to fly out for that big gala meeting that would have made you a millionaire because you were going to make a pitch to some investors or something like that. But, you know, Homeland Security, think of the children. Or let's say that they merely suspect you of plotting something. So this is the terror watch list. And the no-fly list in that case probably applies as well. So they're trying to look through your dirty laundry to make sure that you're loyal. Even without a warrant, they're spying on you, etc., etc. They're using FISA and so forth. And they're doing it behind closed doors, and you don't even necessarily know that it's going on. Now go and try to purchase a firearm. Well, you're on the terror watch list, so good luck doing that. Your Second Amendment rights are being violated on the basis of literally nothing at all. No evidence beyond their pure conjecture. No specific process by which you can even know that you're on the list until you try to do something that it would prevent you from doing. And these are people who have not been charged with any crime. Neither of these should even exist because they are so clearly unconstitutional. By the way, the Senate Dems idea as well. We need to reform these, make them more transparent so, you know, you get put on the no-fly list, you can actually get off of it in a timely fashion. And, you know, if you're on the terror watch list, there should be a justification. I believe that if somebody is reasonably suspected of plotting terrorist actions, they should issue a warrant, and they should go through their shit, and they should find out whether they're plotting a terrorist attack. Until such time has come, and you can expedite that quite easily in front of a court of law if you have a reasonable suspicion and any evidence at all, because courts typically grant warrants like goddamn handing out candy on Christmas to kids. If you can't do that, the person shouldn't be on a list, they shouldn't be prevented from free movement, from their right to bear arms, etc., because you don't have anything. If you can't even go, like, if the federal government can't go before the rubber-stamping FISA court and get a warrant to look into your shit, and actually, you know, come knock at your door and you get questioned by the FBI or something like that, if they can't even get that, because they don't think that they have enough evidence to even put it before the fucking FISA court, you shouldn't be on a list at all. So the fact that the Senate Democrats are actually trying to even mildly reduce government power while the administration is of that same party shows you the scope of the problem must be monumental, and so perhaps it's worse than even I suspect. And I tend to be very suspicious of government power because I understand history and know that it is more often misused than used for a benevolent purpose. You know, I'm from the government and I'm here to help, or scary words. I liked how, what was that politician who misquoted Ronald Reagan as though he was advocating the fact that government would help people? That was a week or two ago. I can't remember which politician it was, and it's certainly a leftoid one. And the Senate Dems trying to kneecap a main federal function is gloriously funny. Now you watch they'll try to reform it through some bill or something. The Republicans will cock block it. I wouldn't put it past them either. I mean, it's always possible. They do control the House, and their House is definitely not particularly in order. It's divided against itself, literally, and so it's going to be hard for it to stand for very long. The terror watch list, though, and the no-fly list shouldn't exist. Again, you don't need to put someone on a list. If you suspect a crime, get a warrant. If you can't get a warrant, or you don't feel confident enough to even try to seek a warrant, leave people alone. It's just like this warrantless wiretapping that's going on all the time. Millions and millions of people's data is being combed through every single day without any reasonable suspicion of a crime. Under normal legal auspices, we would call this a fishing expedition. So basically, you reasonably suspected that this person was growing weed in their backyard. And so the police move in and they search through everything, and then they find something tangentially related, not under warrant, just under situational probable cause. So they smelled weed. They go in there and then they find that the person has, crypto that they didn't declare on their taxes or something. We call it a fishing expedition. Planning crack in someone's car would be an even less legal example of this. And that's effectively what happens with all of the surveillance that goes on. The problem is, especially with the CIA now using AI to sort through it, now a computer can develop probable cause. It's one line in your email quotes the Mujahideen, for example, and so you end up on a watch list. Well, the computer doesn't necessarily understand the context. It could be that quote was you debating somebody who's, a hardline Islamist and likes Osama, and you're actually like a Jew, you're taking up the opposite position, but you still ended up on the no-fly list because a goddamn computer at the CIA headquarters decided that you were a travel risk. I think that if a person is genuinely so risky that we can't have them getting on a plane, we should be able to charge them with some sort of crime. There should be enough probable cause to establish a warrant, but they're not even doing that. It's all very much behind closed doors. This is like CIA black sites and psyops and shit like that. Only it's impacting people's day-to-day lives in an even worse manner. It's bad enough that people are being spied on, often without their own knowledge, for absolutely no reason. This can prevent you from flying, from buying a firearm, etc. And when we tie it into, by the way, one other thing really quickly here, if we consider the possibility of this being ever overlapped with the censorship apparatus, you could have the government effectively establishing, extrajudicially again, mind you, that a person is a threat or saying terrorist-y things or something, and then all of a sudden they wonder why all their social media accounts are banned. Is that beyond the realm of the pale? We know that we've had weaponized IRS, weaponized FBI, weaponized DEA, certainly differential enforcement from groups like the EPA, etc. before the ATF. I wouldn't put it past them, would you? No, absolutely not. The list shouldn't exist in the first place. Put people on a list if they've actually committed a crime. It's called a list of ex-cons, a list of felons or something like that are living in your neighborhood. That's fine. But you gotta establish at least enough probable cause to at least attempt to seek a warrant first. The Democrats will put a band-aid on a gaping wound if they even tackle this issue, and it'll be more like the NSA spying reform with Ted Cruz and the legendary filibuster that left Rand Paul red-faced. That's about all. Peace out.